That breaking news here at 11. Celebrations in the streets of the area known as Tehrangeles after the Supreme Leader of Iran is killed.
That comes as Iran is reporting its newest counterattack. Here is a live look at the airspace over Jerusalem just after 9 a.m. there. Iran state media says it's targeting nearly 30 U.S. bases and has already landed hits across the region. High-rise buildings hit in Bahrain, Dubai, and Iraq, now about 24 hours since Operation Epic Fury. The world awaits what comes next. And hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Kathy Farah.
And I'm Jonathan Gonzalez. It was this time last night when President Trump announced the hour of freedom was at hand. In a joint attack by the U.S. and Israel, hundreds of missiles were fired into Iran. And tonight, we now have a closer look at the damage dealt. New satellite images show the work compound of the Iranian Ayatollah decimated by strikes. Officials telling NBC News Israel targeted Iranian leaders, while the U.S. went after nuclear and ballistic missile sites.
And tonight, Iranian state media now confirming the death of its supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei. Israel's defense minister says it was during the opening wave of the attack. Here is what we know. Over the past 24 hours, the U.S. and Israel have launched hundreds of missiles. The Iranian Red Crescent said more than 200 people have been killed and roughly 700 others have been injured so far. Iran is retaliating, attacking U.S. military bases, Israel, and high-profile targets across the region, including air hubs and disrupting oil shipments. Iran has declared the late Supreme Leader a martyr. That means 40 days of mourning has begun nationwide.
Now, here is some of the reaction we've been seeing tonight in the streets of Iran. People waving flags, some of them crying, some of them praying. Emotions high in a country that has seen so much turmoil from months of deadly protests. The death of the Supreme Leader and the uncertainty of what's next. Our Conan Nolan has the very latest.
The surprise attack came not at night, but in broad daylight. A joint U.S.-Israeli military assault on Iran. Hundreds of targets, with the Pentagon focusing on Iranian military infrastructure, particularly its ballistic missile sites, and the Israelis with drone and missile attacks targeting the government's top leadership. President Trump posting this afternoon on social media that the Iranian Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, was killed in one of the airstrikes. The Iranian government confirming his death earlier this evening. Khamenei has led the intensely repressive Iranian regime for nearly 40 years. In a taped address, the president called the military action an opportunity for the people of Iran to seize control of their government.
And to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach.
The Iranian military responded by attacking not just U.S. military bases in the region, but also civilian targets in neighboring countries it is accused of being complicit with the United States. A high-rise building in Bahrain, a drone strike in Dubai, other airstrikes in Jordan and in Israel. Matt Bradley of NBC News in Tel Aviv.
And this was a huge impact site. And some of the rescue workers there said that multiple people, at least one person, had been killed.
I call for de-escalation and an immediate cessation of hostilities.
The U.S.-Israeli attack was condemned by the Secretary General of the UN during an emergency meeting of the Security Council and by the Iranian ambassador.
The aggressors have also targeted a school, killing more than 100 children.
That claim has not been independently confirmed. Senior Trump administration officials have told NBC News that Iran was threatening American forces in the region with potential missile strikes, and the U.S. acted preemptively. The American ambassador to the UN is Mike Waltz.
American diplomacy was attempted repeatedly and in good faith. But diplomacy cannot succeed where there is no genuine willingness to cease aggression.
What the president called a war on Iran is expected to last for days, if not longer. Nicole Grajewski of Pasadena is with the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace.
In some ways, this kind of looks like a regime change light. Like it's not necessarily a full-fledged boots on the ground, having army and Marines in there. It's really somewhat of kind of creating the degradation to degrade the regime so that the Iranian people can rise up and form a new government.
And the likelihood of that happening could depend on what takes place during this military campaign over the next several days. Conan Nolan, NBC4 News.
And it's been a mix of emotions across the country, and in the hours after the attacks, many cities, including Los Angeles, holding anti-war protests, but others, like in Westwood, taking a much more celebratory tone.
For months, we have seen locals protest the Iranian government, brought on by the regime's killings of thousands of protesters there. Tonight, NBC4's Tracey Leong is live in Little Tehran with how people there are reacting. Tracey.
Yeah, Jonathan and Kathy, for hours, people have been out here celebrating the strikes on Iran. Many have friends and family still in the country, and they say this is a turning point for Iran. In the heart of Little Tehran, the mood is joyful and electric, with people dancing in the streets, waving Iranian and American flags.
This is a very special time, and this is a very good day.
Not only the best place for Iranian, but the world is gonna be a better place. An evil regime has been eliminated.
On Westwood Boulevard, cars are honking their support to a cheering crowd. Known as Tehrangeles, home to one of the largest Iranian communities outside Iran.
It's a great feeling seeing all my regulars, seeing people from out of town coming in to celebrate and having a place that they can hang out and feel safe and feel comfortable. And it's just, it really touches my heart.
A moment that for many Iranian Americans and Iranian immigrants say feels like a long-held dream coming true.
Tonight is such a momentous moment in our family because my kids get to see a free Iran. And my entire life, I'm an Iranian immigrant. I've known Iran under the reign of Khamenei, where we were oppressed and my parents left the country so that my sister and I could have a free life.
Seppi Maccabee is hopeful that women of Iran can finally experience true freedom after being denied for decades under Iran's Islamic Republic.
We don't have to wear the hijab. We can have access to education. We can own businesses. If we want a divorce, we can get a divorce. Not me, but we have the basic rights that women all around the world have in the free world.
As people look forward to a political change in Iran, they're also remembering 22-year-old Mahsa Amini, a Kurdish Iranian woman who was arrested by Iran's morality police for not wearing a proper hijab and died in state custody in 2022. A mural in Glendale honors her memory and the movement her death ignited.
Symbolic character of Iranian lady who demonstrated for life, women life freedom, and got killed, got arrested.
Amini's death sparked nationwide protests and highlighted the struggle for women's rights in Iran.
Hopefully they're going to blossom. The country will be much, much better.
Many Iranians tell me that after years away from the country, they're excited about the possibility of now being able to return to visit. Reporting live in Westwood, Tracey Leong, NBC4 News.
We can hear some of that excitement, Tracey. Thank you. And now to the security reverberations right here at home. Several different law enforcement agencies, from the LAPD to the LA County Sheriff's Department, even the FBI, all saying they are all closely monitoring any credible threats here at home. There are none so far. Earlier, we spoke with NBC4 law enforcement contributor Dr. Errol Suthers. He said specifically trained officers are now monitoring places of worship this weekend as a protective measure.
There's specialized police officers who are assigned to all the 21 divisions, and they were designed years ago to develop relationships with community leaders, with people in the community, to focus on patrols, to enhance their relationships, and to be able to step up in times like this, where they will say, here's what we're going to do. There's no specific threat. If you hear something, see something, say something, of course, to these officers who they have direct communication with.
Dr. Suthers says people should feel safe and not be surprised if they see any extra patrols while they worship this weekend and the days to come. And that is just one of many things that we're watching for in the coming days.
Several members of Congress are now calling for an immediate vote on the War Powers Act. It places the power of declaring war back in the hands of Congress, as is written in the Constitution. Then the power shift in Iran. Its Constitution says if the Ayatollah dies, the Assembly of Experts must announce a new leader as soon as possible. On the NBC4 News at 5, we asked UCLA global studies expert Dr. Benjamin Rad what we should see next from Iran.
pretty confident that Iran's ability to escalate has been neutralized. We don't know what is left of their ballistic missile capability, their drone inventory, their cruise missiles and other assets. We know that their proxy groups have not been effective.
One potential form of retaliation from Iran lies in the price of oil. Just today, futures in crude oil rose by more than 3% as many oil tankers cleared out of the region. If Iran chooses to fully close the Strait of Hormuz, it could upend global oil markets. About a fifth of the world's petroleum passes through there every day. It could lead to a 30 to 60 cent per gallon rise at the gas station.
Our team is staying on top of the activity in the Middle East around the clock. We have a page of live rolling updates on the front page of NBCLA.com and the NBCLA app.